We had you last, I think, a couple of months back. So how less bad is it? I guess it's a good way of putting it. What's better, what isn't?
Things have improved. I mean, I've got a smile on my face for the first time in quite a while. We hit our low spot in probably May. For China itself, it was early in the year in the first quarter, but things are picking up. Life looks good. We are doing well in China. The hotels have picked up. We closed September actually with a higher occupancy in China than we did for the same time last year.
Okay, now, in terms, I guess, of across the region, you talked about China, which does seem to stand out pretty much across the world as one being in front of the story. Is there any other place that seems to be picking up? Because you have some places in Asia that are starting to bring down those restrictions.
We did. We saw a huge pickup in Japan over the last few months, albeit we've had a slight surge in certain cities in Japan, but Japan has done very well. And the government there has also been very proactive in pushing tourism, intra-country tourism. So most of the places across the world that we're seeing higher occupancy numbers are ones that obviously are focused on domestic travel or large enough to provide domestic stays across the industry. And so it's starting with millennials, in leisure travel, then a little bit of business travel, and most markets we're waiting for group to come back.
Yeah, one of the trends you guys are actually flagging on top of all of that is, you and I were talking during the break, you asked me where I was, I'm here in the studio. People, the work from home is also forcing or creating a new segment, a new market for you guys. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, people are working from home. It's interesting. It's pushed forward the digitization. So some of the things in the work that we were even doing before has been rolled out even at a faster pace. Baby boomers like myself have gotten more tech savvy, which has enabled them to work from home. But interestingly enough, we see people tired of working from home. And so they're checking into hotels at times to work from home or do a staycation and work combination at the same time, which has been very interesting.
And all right, key assumptions for 2021. What can we attach a high degree of confidence to?
I think it's going to see it as a recovery year. People are going to start to come back. The order again is going to continue to be leisure travel. There's a travel lust out there right now. People are really interested in traveling, and they're waiting to just get out of the gate. We see people going to our websites and daydreaming. Second is going to be corporate travel coming back, and probably towards the second half and third part of the year, you'll see groups start to come back strong. And a lot has to do with this is coming on the back of a vaccine and a feeling that people will be able to travel safely. And so there's also a lot around the confidence in the brands and who's using the right products and cleaning protocols and such.
Craig, that's probably one of the saddest 2020 headlines that you just mentioned there. People are looking at your website and daydreaming. All right, talk to us about best case scenario then. Assuming we do get a vaccine widely available and assuming these travel restrictions are brought back down completely, when do you think demand would be able to return to 2019 levels?
So my answer for almost everything is depends. Depends on the country, depends on the region of the world, and it also depends on the governments and the government's ability to roll the vaccine out. Not only roll it out, but make sure that the rules from border to border are the same and people aren't required in travel. And so we don't think we'll fully recover to 2019 levels in 2021, but we think it'll be a healthy start. I think we'll be fairly close in places like China. But it's hard to predict. Listen, it's been every time my boss asks me for a forecast, we are forecasting. It's like forecasting in the middle of a storm right now. Things have changed and it's gone very quickly. But we're confident that the Asia, or especially China, will be the first out of the recovery chute, and then will really depend by country across the world.
Now, in terms of headcount, then, just some clarity, best to come from you. Here in the region, under your business, how many people did you guys put under unpaid leave, and what does headcount look like for you, permanent headcount, that is, this time next year?
We've been very fortunate. I mean, through this whole pandemic, we've continued to grow. And so, especially in Asia Pacific, we've seen our up through the middle of the year, actually, we had more signings for new hotels than we did at the previous first half of the year in 2019. And so we've had the ability to shift associates to new hotels. And so that's one of the most beneficial things we've had. Rather than cutting staff back at large levels like many other companies in the industry, we've been able to move them. We'll open 100 hotels in Asia Pacific next year. And so in China, we've brought all of our full-time associates back to work. We're just working on bringing a lot of the interns back now. And the rest of Asia will be able to bring most of our full-time associates back probably around somewhere between the first and second quarter of the year with the new hotels that are opening.
Right. Is that the same then, just to follow up on that? Is that the same as saying your head count now is pretty much at the same level as at the end of last year?
No, not now. We still have some reductions, but what we did is we took a tiered approach with our salaries for senior leadership to protect jobs as much as possible.
Right. Trends for the industry. I'm sure you've been asked this question. We've seen it in the airlines. Consolidation. Is that something that we should expect from the hotel industry next 2-3 years?
I'm not sure, possibly, but I don't think there'll be any. I don't know that there'll be a lot of big deals. I think there's a lot of people looking for smaller chains and some things to shore up their business. What I would say though is there's one of the big trends is conversions. And so a lot of hotels that aren't branded or are branded with, say, not as strong affiliations are looking to change. And so about 30% of our new hotel deals have been these conversion properties, which for us also means we get hotels faster into our system. And I think you'll see a lot more of that. As the tide went down, people are able to look around and see which brands, which international brands especially, are able to provide stronger channels. And I think that's been a big game changer right now. The other trend that we've seen is this, cleanliness and is the new amenity. And so people want to check into a hotel and make sure that they're using the right products and they are taking care of them. And so that trust factor is very important now. And I think that's going to stick for quite a while.
Final question, Craig. Going into next year, got to ask, how's your team? How's morale doing?
Better than I thought. I was surprised. I was really proud of them. I think that everybody knows this is a temporary thing. The biggest question for a while was how long will it last? And so imagine being in a terrible thunderstorm or a hurricane and you're not sure how long it's going to last. But having that vaccine come out has brought a lot of smiles because we can kind of see the end in sight. We don't know the exact date, but we know that travel is coming back. And especially in this part of the world, it's going to come back really strong. So we're looking forward to welcoming all of your listeners back to our hotels over the next couple of years.